Finally going live in the daytime again. I feel like for the last week, I've been going live super late at night, like 10 p.m. So it's 3:43 p.m. my time on a Thursday late afternoon. And I wanted to talk to you guys about why do men do this? I'm going to explain to you what I'm talking about. I'm going to be eating these noodles in the meantime. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make a separate video about it, like an edited video telling my stories. But I kind of want to know, like, so like men and women can answer this question, but I want to know, why do men who are not eligible to date you, like whether they're just like not interested or they're taken, why do they come up to me and interrupt the conversation that's being had between me and another guy, just for me to find out that they have a ring on their finger, or it just seems like they wanted to compete with the other guy. And it's kind of annoying. And I've got like 5 or 6 or 7 different scenarios and where that's shown up. And I'm thinking, you just wasted my time. You know what I mean? Yay, noodles. Yes, Ryan. I thought about you actually when I started making these. But I added steamed vegetables in here to make it a little healthier. Mm-mm-mm. They're good. They're hitting the spot right now. Should I ask out my crush? I don't know, Nolan. It depends. Cash Money wants some. You look fabulous. Thank you, Ryan. Hi, Dakota. Hi, Kinsley. I wanted to kind of get some ladies' perspectives in here too, because do you know how many times I've been out at events and there will be, like, I was at a St. Patrick's Day party and I was inside my neighbor's apartment, and this guy started talking to me and we were shooting the breeze, and then out of nowhere this other guy came in and kind of like interrupted us and was kind of just like, yeah, hey, what's going on? And I was just like, and so I'm like, hi. And so as we're talking, he like later reveals to me that his wife was sitting across the room. And I was like, why were you that close to me? Interrupting me and his conversation just for you to tell me that your wife is sitting across the room. Like, so now I've learned when guys do that, I just ignore them because they're gonna waste my time. I need to hear from the guys in here of like why you guys do that. And also girls, if you've experienced this. You look like the girl from Sonic the Hedgehog. I haven't seen that movie. Girl, you're so pretty. What's up? Hi, Lucy. A story that ain't sound like he answers. Good husband. Right. Like, if I saw my husband all up on some girl's face, like all up in her face and trying to chat with her like that, I would be like, oh, I would feel away. New user here. Hi, Okandeji. Hello, send me a kiss. Kiss sent. You look like Rihanna. Thank you. Hey, what's up? You're pretty. Thanks, Vincent. So he was kind of trying to impose his presence in a way that made him come off as rude and pushy. This is quite common in males, unfortunately. Like, he wasn't rude, but he kind of just like inserted himself in the conversation, and he did it where he was standing in between me and the first guy that was talking to us. And he was very nice and kind. And I have seen him in the elevator because he lives in my complex, apparently. I've seen him in my elevator numerous times, and he's very friendly. And I thought, oh wow, this guy's nice. He's kind of cute, right? Not knowing either time that I bumped into him in the elevator that he was married. Like, I had no idea, right? He never said, oh yeah, me and my wife, we're gonna go blah, 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 blah. It wasn't until that St. Patrick's Day gathering at my neighbor's house that he's standing this close to me, all up in my face, interrupting me and this other guy's conversation, telling me his life story, just to find out that his wife was in the room the whole time. And like, me, myself, I don't think every interaction with a guy is going to lead to anything, but I'm also like open to meeting people, and like, I don't like to waste my time with people who are not even eligible. Like, and then interrupting at the same time. That's the part that gets me the most. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Can you call my name? Hi, CJ. Did you look disengaged with the original guy? Was he trying to save you? No, I didn't look disengaged. Like, and that's another thing I've learned to do, Dakota, where when I notice that guys do that, in order to not be rude to the original person I was talking to, like, I usually try to, I've learned to like connect the conversation, like, oh yes, and kind of like what you were saying, right? Like, if I was originally talking to Joe, and then Cade comes in and starts interrupting and just wants my attention, then I will say, oh yeah, kind of like what Joe was saying, remember? And I let him like finish talking, because that's just common courtesy. But now that I know that guys are doing this because they're just, their ego's in the way and they just want I can get her too, you know, type energy. He wasn't trying to save me. He actually kind of walked away, which is also interesting because it's like, okay, so both of these situations are just getting sabotaged. But I also feel like a guy that's interested, he's gonna stay or find me again later, which he ended up doing, right? It is not verbally rude, but it is definitely narcissistic to try to be the whole focal point of the conversation instead of waiting his turn and being part of the conversation. Right, exactly. That's a thing. Is that instead of saying, "Oh, hi, I'm like so and like introducing himself to me and the guy that's standing there, he just, like you said, made himself the whole focal point. And so I've learned to not let people do that, because A, it's rude, and B, you're probably just, excuse my French, but you're probably just cock blocking, you know? And it's like, why? Like, go away. Can I have a shout out, please? Shout out Victoria. Thank you, Mad Hatter. You look so pretty. Thank you. Natural face, look good vibes, positive. Thanks, Marcel. I think you're pretty and cute. Thank you, Ronnie. What's your cash app? God, 18 God, go away, because you're just trolling. Good afternoon. How are you doing? First time watching Natural Beauty. Thank you, Linda. How are you? I'm talking about these guys who are trying to, like, for some reason, intervene and try to sabotage potential interactions, you know, that you're having with another guy. Thank you, Mad Hatter. How did it work out for the guy who waited around? Would you have preferred he stood his ground? Well, yes. Especially if I'm like secretly interested in the guy who was talking to me. I do believe that a guy that is interested in you, you shouldn't let, if you're interested in me and you have asserted yourself first, I don't think you should let a guy that just came out of nowhere come in and interrupt and kind of like take over the conversation. Like you should stand your ground, especially if you're interested, right? But you can also play it cool and just say, okay, it's not the end of the night, it's not the end of the day. We're still going to be at this gathering for a few more hours. I'll catch her again when she's by herself. And that's what he ended up doing, right? So it's either you stay your ground or you find me again. But I've also learned to just connect the conversation, because I don't like when people insert themselves in a conversation, make it about them, and then kind of make me forget about who I was talking to, which is really their whole goal, you know? Because they're just trying to take over and be all up in my face. Hi, Tony. Setting up a bar crawl for Juneteenth. You interested? Where are you, Steve? Hey, Maxim. Hi, Lava. Dakota, they don't know what they want. That's not true. Hello from Los Angeles. Hi. Hi, Maria. Thank you, Katie. Noodles, now I want some. I know. Y'all, noodles are just good for no reason. I don't know how to eat these without looking like a big bag, so. Everything good tonight? Yes, Lord. Kelvin. Sometimes I believe it's subconscious with males. They don't know how it's coming off because they're trying so hard to prove to themselves they can talk to you too. They not mean just extra. Right. And that's why I've had to learn to kind of like just take the driver's seat and be like, look, like I get it, but you're messing up the flow, you know? That's what most guys don't understand. They don't understand flow because they're in their head so much. Peace to you. What do me do that you don't like? I don't know what that means. Okay. Exactly. Maria, so you've experienced this before. Other words, glad you have ways around them. Right. I got a question for you. What's your question? You're a black Barbie. Thank you. You look gorgeous. Thank you. Would you do modeling? You're gorgeous. Thanks, Maria. I would do it. What are you talking about for new people? I'm talking about how guys try to pretty much, I hate using that word because it's kind of inappropriate, but they kind of block you from talking to other guys. That's so gross. I'm getting him out of here. Some guys don't rope all guys in a category. You get that. I get that, but it's really circumstantial. It is circumstantial. I'm introverted, and the only kind of women who I'm attracted to are strange, introverted, emotionally mature women with their own lives. That's good. Really, Ez? I feel like your name is Ed Gomez, but you switched the two last letters. Really? So people are just... Yes, okay. Not just once, but like 6 times. Like I've experienced like 6 or 7 times. So what happened today that sparked this thought? What did happen today? Well, I was recording a video about my Q&A video that I'm posting today. And it was asking me like, are you single? Because these are questions that I got from you guys last night. Are you single? How long does it take for you to get ready for a social gathering? All of those types of things. And it just started to make me thinking about the gatherings I've gone to, my interactions, and I just was replaying a couple, and I thought, man, why does this happen so much? Girl, I model, but you are the next. Thank you, Maria. I would totally model. If someone says, hey, you want to model? I'd be like, sure. I mean, if you wanted to be with me, no one could make me not to. Holy crap, Candace Owens. Hey, girl. The Noodles also made a special appearance. They sure did. I want to be with you. Where are you from? I came by chance. Thank you, Sophia. Barack Obama loves me. Interesting. Use to create hand signals or nonverbal cues for your friends to save you from being blocked. That's a good idea. I've never thought about that. Usually you make hand signals if you just want to be saved in general, like, oh my god, this person's annoying, like, help me get out of here. But I never thought about using it for that. But a part of me, because I'm just a girl, right? The part of me also feels like if he likes or is interested in interacting with me, he's going to also either stick around, stand his ground, or he's going to find me later too. So I try not to make it like this do or die thing. I'll give you an example. I was standing in a store and I was talking to one of my coworkers, and this guy that I had spoken to like during orientation came up and spoke to me, but kind of like interrupted us and kind of like gave me like a fist stamp, right? And I was like, oh, hey, right? But he hadn't talked to me all day, only when he saw the other guy talking to me for like a significant amount of time that he felt the need to go up and like start talking to me. I was just like, dude, like you hardly talk to me in general. So I just feel like people are just so competitive, you know, and people like what's in demand, you know? Sorry if you just hear all the like the spitty. People have a crush on you in the comments. I know, girl, it's crazy. That is a capital idea, right? Tell us about one situation how you got blocked and by who. I did, okay. I told you guys about when I was at the St. Patrick's Day party, and then I have like 7 examples. It's crazy how many times I feel like guys are just finding the need to just be like, let me insert myself in here. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what about me? Just like, but here's the thing. Women have done that too. I've only seen it happen really once or twice with women. I was at an event and I was talking to said woman, and she's like, I'm happily married. And I was like, okay, cool. We were just chatting about other stuff. 15 minutes later, I'm standing by a bar in this restaurant, and this guy starts talking to me, and we're just chatting it up. She happens to be in the vicinity, and she notices that he's talking to me, and she kind of just like starts inserting herself. And I'm just like, I thought you said you were happily married. Like, what are you doing? So that just makes me realize people just need attention. And somehow, even if they're not eligible, somehow if they are not, I don't know, it just makes them think somehow they're being left out of an equation. But that's not what that means, especially when you're already married. Thank you for the rose, Paul. Jasmine says, that's men for you. Facts. Do you agree with relationships that could destroy reputation and respect? My ex-girlfriend committed child abuse with her niece, and I was actually responsible for her. Do you agree with relationships that could destroy reputation and respect? Absolutely not. You were responsible for who, Daniel? Your ex-girlfriend or the niece? Hi, Abishai. Not necessarily, Mom. Necessarily. That's just the States. You have a very posh American accent. If you ever get the chance, go to Nairobi, Kenya. It's like a big New York, like San Francisco without the drugs. That sounds like fun, actually, Mad Hatter. In demand, being demand. That's what eating on the first date. I don't mean that as a diagnosis of their whole entire personality. That kind of stuff butting in is a sign of emotional insecurity. Yes. Intelligent men want to see how a woman responds to that type of attention and will back away to see how you handle it and if you pursue it. What do you mean? What do you mean, Dakota? Like, because if I'm, at the end of the day, both parties have approached me, right? So I just feel like I'm not responsible for, I'm responsible for making sure that I'm not being rude to the person who I was talking to first. Even if it's a woman, I'm not going to, especially if we're deep in conversation, I'm not going to allow someone to just butt in and not acknowledge that I was originally talking to someone over here, right? I'm going to either connect the conversation together or I'm going to say, oh my God, so good to see you. I'll be over to see you in just a second. Let me finish this conversation. And that's what I mean by taking the driver's seat and not letting people's like childlike ways get in the way of how I'm interacting. Right? But I also don't put that pressure on myself to be the one that has to control the whole situation. Like everybody there is an adult, right? So I don't put that stress on myself, like, oh my God, did I hurt his feelings? Did I hurt her feelings? Like, I take some responsibility. Like, if you want to see me again, there's some actions that he needs to take as well. So that's kind of the part where I'm just like, I'm not gonna stress myself out so much to the point where I'm responsible for everybody's actions and feelings not happening, right? Hi, SK Fox. Guys that block are the same guys that start fishing in the same spot. It drives me crazy. You mean like if you're standing at the lake fishing and they'll start fishing next? Do you mean literally fishing, DC? Oi, Joaquin. Forget them guys. What about us? The irony, Warrior, is that that same mentality you have is exactly the mentality that the guys that butt in have. The noodle's good. Yes, they are. Peace. Especially if they haven't paid you no mind all day, but then all of a sudden, yo, this girl was talking to me, someone that isn't me. Narcissistic for sure. Yeah. Like, they see that there's a demand, and then they're like, whoa, she's guys are talking to her. That must mean I have to go talk to her too. She was married. Yes, Maria, this girl was married. Hi, Social. Tell her to chill with her married at. Right. But these guys be married too. And those are the ones who are like, they're either married or in some long-term relationship. Two married men have gotten upset with me for interacting with people. I'll give you guys another story. These comments are proving that. Right. Love your hair. Thank you, Gabriella. Are you guys man haters? No, Fox man. If you've been listening, you know I'm not a man hater. Don't be bashing us men with fake news. This is not fake news. This is real stuff. I'm taking my next boo out for a pack of noodles with broccoli. Do that if you want to. This is just one of those quick struggle meals. Hi, Adder. I've had lady friends step into combos with other women and then tell me I was too good for them, so they had to stop it. These ladies' friends have been dating my friends or married. Wait, I don't get it. They'll step into combos with other women and then tell you were too good for them. So they had to stop it. They had to stop what? Hi, Michael. Thank you, Aiden. You guys, giving a compliment is not rude. You can't walk up and imply you're more important than what other people are doing. Right. Mm-hmm. You're very kind. I bet your smell is unearthly. Thank you. Oh, my, hold on, y'all. My thing died. Let me get to the bottom of these messages. Yeah, dead internet theory. I've never heard of it, but it's gotta be real as the fuck, for sure. That's what I mean. Intelligent men will step back and see how a lady handles her business. No, I didn't mean that you were in the wrong, just saying they want to see what your vibe is. I'm saying other men talking to you would not make me want to talk to your fine self. Oh, I see. Well, think about like celebrity women. How like it seems like guys will literally get with the same 4 girls over and over again. And it's because these women are creating a demand for themselves. And so men are people in general are very drawn to demand. And so it's like a Louis Vuitton, you know, like if everybody's wearing Louis Vuitton, there's obviously a demand for it. I gotta buy it. Everybody's after her. I gotta get with her. That's the kind of like demand. Those dudes would hate this chat. 74 other people for you to talk to. Oh man. Right. My thing keeps dying, y'all. I guess I'm gonna have to just like record in orientation mode. Hold on, y'all. Okay, let's do this. I didn't charge my gimbal long enough. Okay, we're back. I was gonna record outside. The next time, I think I will go live outside. Nia Long. Oh, thank you. You was bad. Thank you, Kyron. I would talk to you regardless of men trying to talk to or not to you. Oh, I see what you mean, Warrior. Thank you. But you know what that, but I'm just saying, like, I know some guys do that, right? I've experienced both, but I've just experienced an influx of other guys who, for whatever reasons, feel the need to come and talk to me just because another guy is talking to me. And it kind of just makes you wonder, if the guy wasn't talking to me, would you be up here trying to talk to me? Just for me to find out that they're either married or I don't know what else, that they weren't really interested. They were just competing with the guy. You know what I mean? Look like Barbie with caramel skin. Thank you. Thank you, Umberto. Are you Ghanaian or Nigerian? I'm gonna have a Q&A video posted more than likely tonight or tomorrow. It's gonna answer all you guys' questions. So subscribe, and also as you're coming in, like this video. Like there's 78 people in here. There should be 78 likes. Hola Raulito, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo has estado? We've been holding. What do you mean, Sarah? You have a sweet baby face. Trying to guess your age is a skill testing question. I'm gonna tell you guys my age in the video. I'm gonna tell you my age, my height, where I live, and like the city, and all the things that you guys have been asking me. My relationship status, all the things. Yeah, Warrior, like I think it's definitely a human nature thing of just like insecurity, but it's definitely frustrating to be in the middle of it, right? And then kind of feeling like you're responsible for how the outcome turns out. Like that's really what I'm realizing, is that I don't have to be responsible for how everything turns out. That's a lot of pressure and stress on myself when other people have a say-so just as much as I do. Like they can control whether you want to talk to me again at a later time. They can control not butting in the conversation. There's so much they can control, right? Can you speak to me? No, I cannot. Thank you, Joseph. Kevin Samuels killed all that. Killed all what? She was just ranting. Men don't move like that. OG Logic or OG Look, I'm not gonna acknowledge that because you've got like Grand Theft Auto pictures. Those are usually what is your dating pet peeve? I feel like that's the nucleus of this conversation. Am I wrong? I think that is a dating pet peeve. But mind you, when I'm out and about and I'm meeting people in real life, in real time, I don't consider that dating, right? That's like if someone comes up to you and starts talking to you, there's obviously an interest there. It's the beginning of, oh, well, he probably is gonna ask for my number, which they usually do. But it's him trying to get the vibe for how you are. And if like it seems like it's a good vibe, and then they ask for your number, and then you kind of go on a date. But interacting with people in real time and just shooting the breeze with them at a networking event or at a party, that's not dating, right? It's just interacting with people in real time. It's just being in the wild. Let's see. Good morning, Vinod. Are these guys not leading the way and making you have to? No, like, it's not necessarily them not leading the way. Like, some of them do. It's just kind of these types of specific scenarios when someone feels insecure or feels the need to butt in on a conversation. It's just an insecurity factor. But I've never seen a lot of people do it I've never seen so many people do it this much. Of feeling the need to intervene on a conversation. And then not really having any intention behind it. That's how I know it's just them trying to fulfill an insecure thought or an ego boost. And it's just like, not that me and that original person were gonna get married or anything, but it's more so like, why do you move like that, you know? Thank you, Benny. You're making more and more sense to me for sure. I'm glad. Women usually chase a man when he is not single. I don't think men want a lady who is already taken. The sexes are different that way. I don't know, DC. I don't know, because I've been on both sides, and it seems like guys pop out of the woodworks when I'm taken. They're just like, it's almost like, because it's like, we want what we can't have. I have found myself like realizing a guy is really attractive and then finding out he has a girlfriend, and then I'm like, God, you would make a really good boyfriend, but you already are to someone else. Right? So the Lion King has many wives. Got a like for the smile. Thank you, DC. You speak Spanish? I do speak Spanish. Deberías dar clases de inglés, Sol. Tu español es perfecto. Gracias, Raulito. Men just be trying to, it's not even like that. Men just not approaching you because of competition. That's what men, they approach because you look great. I know why they're approaching, and I know that that's their end goal, but that still doesn't take away. Maybe you're not understanding what I'm saying, Ojiro, because I definitely understand that, but there's a component that I'm trying to make that is bothersome for when anyone does that. It's simply out of trying to scratch an itch. Pretty much it's like a guy asking himself, do I still have it? I might be married, but if I'm out here and I try to get this girl, even though I can't actually have access to her, would she still be interested? Like, it's literally just scratching an ego itch. Can I tell you something, please? I need a girlie to tell this to. Of course, Addie. What do you need to tell me? Men approaching women who doesn't look nowhere close to you. Right. The older you get, the more you realize what you control. Only what you can. Do not others. So yes, thanks for that. Yeah. A lot of times men will feel if they are better than or don't respect the man you're with, they'll try to talk to you. Yes, that is facts, McSwagger. And I've seen women kind of take that approach too, kind of like if she thinks she's cuter than me, then she will kind of just be like, well, I'm the cuter one, so I might as well just, right? And it's like sometimes, according to society, maybe she is. I don't know, but other times it's like, girl, you nuts. I don't know what you're doing. That's me being arrogant, but no, like I've seen guys do that. Like I was on a date with this guy once, and he was significantly shorter than me. So for you guys out there who say that women don't date short guys, you're lying, because it's not true. And interesting, that same night when I was out on a date, we had dinner and then we went to this pool, like place to play pool and like have a drink. It was a really cool spot. But while we were out, we saw another tall girl with a shorter guy. So I was like, see, this is not true. There's 2 examples in real time of how that's not true, that tall girls or that people don't date short guys. Not true. Anyway, while we were at this pool place, my date was trying to show me, like, how to shoot the pool, even though I already know he was just being a gentleman. And this guy literally comes over. Sorry, I was reading something. This guy literally comes over and starts trying to show me how to shoot the pool. And of course, this guy was taller than my date. So that let me know, okay, he feels more confident because he's taller than my date. And then my date goes, chill, bro, I got it, And then the other guy kind of got mad and was like, you got a problem? I was like, oh, Lord. So it was just, it's literally just guys just competing with each other. It's really what it all boils down to. Does goddess imply that you're supposed to be worshipped? Thurston Ward. It implies whatever you mean it to imply. Can I ask you a question from the UK? Of course, Isaac. Yes, what DZ said. If the question is appropriate, then yes, you can ask. It's your boy, I don't know what the devil? Abby, if you have a question or if you want to like share something and you want like advice for it, this is really what my channel is kind of about, then put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. When a girl always asks you if you want children and she acts flirty with you sometimes, what does that mean? Is she indirectly asking me? It could be something. So Isaac is curious about a girl asking him if he wants kids and then flirting with him sometimes. So is she indirectly asking you if you want kids? Sounds like she's directly asking you if you want kids, and she's indirectly flirting with you. Right? So if she's a woman that wants kids, right? Let's say she's for sure, she knows she wants kids. She's wanting to make sure that you want kids, and then depending on what you've told her, that's how she's going to kind of move, right? So when you say, is she indirectly asking me? Is she indirectly asking you what? Hi AJ, my day's good. How's yours? What's for dinner tonight? Hi Makaya. Dinner tonight is going to be salmon with steamed vegetables and quinoa. Have you ever been to Italy? I have not, but I'd love to go. Because y'all don't move like that. Excuse me. So gorgeous. Thank you, Mario. Boy, Gabriel. New sub. Thanks, Mario. She's literally describing how women move. You know, for guys who kind of have an issue with how women move today, I know it's definitely not the same. I'm not going to get into any of that today, but I don't know how women move that much because I don't date women. So I don't really know how they move. I can only speculate. But I know that women are definitely moving a lot more differently today. That I do know. And you guys are probably like experiencing it. You're really beautiful. Thank you, baseball. A great way to fix your lineup is to spend less time freezing bags. Okay. Thank you, Tony. Thanks, Danielle. Why do men do what? You guys, you're making me repeat myself. And I'm trying not to use that word that starts with a C. People in a relationship exude confidence, which stands out to others. Very common to get a lot of attention within relationships. Yes, Dakota. When a man first sees you, he's sexually attracted to you. Less than 30% of them approach the woman they are attracted to. So if a man interrupts a conversation, it's because he knows what he wants. Yoda, I don't agree. In my experience, there might be truth to that, but the actual outcome of it is just, it seems like a waste of time on their behalf. You're right. It's weird how timing happens like that. Are you Spanish? I am skinny white guy. Are you married? 3 billion women. You can't go find your own. Right. You're very pretty. Thank you, Tony. Yes, clock. Thank you, DC. Why do men clock block us from other men when they're not, like, we're not in a relationship with them? Or I've seen men clock block and then start talking to the other guy, and he's straight. I've had men at events, I'm talking to someone or they're talking to me, and then they go up to that person, interrupt that conversation, and just completely put their back towards me. And I'm like, geez, like, that's happened to me multiple times at fundraiser dinners and galas and stuff like that. What is goddess energy? That's a good question, Matt. Thank you, DC. Very inappropriate. I put him in timeout. Bernard is next. Off topic. I'm a man and men suck. We just do. I didn't say it, y'all. Show them no mercy, said it. You're very pretty. You don't have to worry about that. Thank you. You know, I don't necessarily feel like I experience a shortage of guys or dates or anything like that. But I do feel like there's certain behaviors that I just don't like. When, you know, interacting comes up, when it's time to interact with people. So that's kind of just why I'm talking about it. Anyway. But did you date him or did you go on a date with him? Which one? The first guy I was talking to or the second guy I interrupted? programmed mind. Why did you allow that to happen? I feel like I'm so behind on these comments. Let me just scroll all the way down. Women choose who they want, guys get chosen. Not really true. Convo. Don't call me that, Bernard. I'm putting you in timeout. You guys don't know how to act. I always let other guys hit on my ladies in front of me unless they are being disrespectful to her. Dakota, you let other guys hit on your lady in front of you unless they're being disrespectful to her? Why? Why do you let that? Why do you let them do that? Like, you don't have to, like, get upset. But I think I would like my guy to at least acknowledge him. But if you don't care because you're just like, whatever, then okay. If you're confident in it, like, no matter what he says, I know she's gonna still be with me. If you've got that level of peace and confidence, then so be it. But a part of me would kind of wonder why you're just letting that happen. Not like you're ready to fight the guy, but like, if you don't even check him just a little bit, then I'm kind of like, okay, well, guess he doesn't care. Thank you, Tony. You have, I want a black girl, how I get me one. Talk to her like she's a woman, because she is. Ask her her name. That sounded weird. I'm Hispanic. I kind of feel like people are afraid to talk to. I'm kind of going off topic here a little bit and gonna get a little kind of controversial, but I feel like some people are afraid to approach black women in the States. And I just feel like, I know that if you are confident in yourself and respectful, all you have to do is say, hey. And if she's interested, she's gonna say hey and let you talk and talk back. Just don't say weird stuff like, hey, I like black girls. And it's like, I'm assuming that's why you're like, for me, when I was downtown out with a friend, this guy came up to me and was just like, hey, I really like black girls. And I was just like, oh, cool, right? And so to me, it's like, obviously you do, because that's why you're standing in front of my face right now, right? Otherwise, so just talk to black women like normal. A lot of guys have asked me that. How do I get a black woman? I'm just like, Tony Chases, what are you mixed with? How do you assume that I'm mixed, Tony? I want a patrol of landed on Jamaica's island poaching. What? Did you ever go charity dating? What does that mean? I think you need some mods. Yeah. Oh, Isaac, sorry, I'm so late on the comments. She already has a kid. She always asks me my plan for future in terms of having kids. Oh, I see, Isaac. So it sounds like she definitely likes you. And she wants to know if you're okay with her having a child. Are you? Blakely. Thank you. Are women that have 4 guys in the go and narrow it down over time going about dating the right way? What do you suggest, DC? I'm not saying yes or no, I'm just asking. Most men are scared to go all in with a woman and fully commit, not realizing that fully committing to her is what will produce the relationship we all desire to have. Right. I will say a lot of men are scared today of a lot of things. They're just kind of scaredy cats. God is real, so is heaven. I like you. I would like a kiss from you. My ex-girlfriend was a black female. She was from St. Kitts. Okay, Christopher, cool. I'm also specifically talking about American black women, right? Like the ones from like different countries and stuff, they'll come here and like kind of have a different experience and mentality and things. But the ones that are from here, like I'm talking about those. And it depends also which ones you're talking about too, right? Hi, Barry. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's not about how many dates you can get. Even ugly girls get dates. It's about how many of these men are you able to retain for a relationship. Well, I definitely agree with being able to have and maintain a relationship. I think in my experience nowadays, people just want what they want and they're not really looking for a relationship. So, trust takes years to build and seconds to destroy. Never rush a relationship. Big facts, Christopher. You haven't found the right one yet. I have not. What kind of guys you like? You've talked to too many men. Unfortunately, you're... Anyway, check them. Thank you, Kevin. Why would you like guys to have more life? I've had luck in dating. Wait, what? You're cute. How old are you? Thank you. I have had luck in dating, attracting women, but I also am confident that my relationship is strong. And she will let me know when she wants me to step in. I'm not going to give too much of my opinion on that, Dakota, because, obviously. But I just know that is not... That's a person that's too passive for me. Personally, but that's got nothing to do with the price of tea in China because that's you and your thing, Why would a wife allow guys to hit on her is the question. I mean, that's true, but at the same time, if a man is a protector and feels like proud of what he has, at the same time, his job is to check the other males who are also pursuers just like he is and say, hey, that's my wife. You good, bro? Is everything okay? Like, it's just as simple to me, right? Now, obviously, I would say you realize that's my husband standing right there, right? But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, why didn't he... But yeah, he is standing right there. So why didn't he say anything? It's kind of a double-edged sword, If a guy let another guy hit on his woman, why are you with your woman? You as a man, bro. I'm not approachable. I don't think a guy is that brave to try that stuff with me. Hey, I like black girls. I feel like women like using the word weird. Why would somebody be afraid to approach black women? It's just like approaching other women. I don't know, Tony. I also don't know your ethnicity or your background, so depends on like what you're used to, what part of the country you live, all those things, right? Those all play a factor. Because I know a lot of guys are. I mean, you're just so pretty, I can sit here and watch all day long. Thanks, Tony. You just got that complexion. Is there a natural beauty look or a filter look? There is no filter, no. But thank you for that compliment. I won't go near a woman who auditions men. For me, that's a huge red flag. Old school dating is the best choice for success. Here's the thing, DC. I think old school dating is, but I think women have learned that old school dating has stopped a long time ago, right? So that's why I think women have resulted in doing, unfortunately, what men have done, which is keep a roster. It's 444. I gotta make a wish. Okay. Yes, I'm that girl. So if women are noticing that men are not keeping the old school way of dating, and then they realize, oh, I thought I was the only one he was dating, then they're gonna be like, then she's like, oh, well, dang, okay, well, I guess that's what we're doing, right? So that ship has sailed for women because we realized that we're not the only one that men are dating. Even if it might feel that way, until he's like said, hey, I want to see you exclusively, or let's do this together, and we cut off everybody else. Until he says that, you as a woman, I can't even assume I'm the only one he's seeing. And I never assume that anymore. Like, I will never assume that, because I know that that's not the case. You get what I'm saying? What we do now, you got to make sure you want to be in a relationship first of all. That's facts, Tony. I appreciate your opinion, so I don't take it personal. My presence is my impact. No. Yep. What we blame it on men today. Them New York females are aggressive. That's probably what he was alluding to. Trying to figure out how to approach those types of black girls. Well, that's only one state. You got a whole country, right? I'm from California, so. Also, you guys, I always just like to encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already, because if you like this live, then I have a lot of engaging videos that you will also like. And subscribing is the highest compliment, but so is blessing me via Cash App, if you feel so inclined. Thank you, Togo. That's all high school games they be playing. That's why they relationship, and that's the crazy part, because you really do blame it on men. No, I don't blame it on men. Here's what I will say. I think dating used to be just a man's game. And like women were left at the helm of whatever he does is like how my heart is gonna feel. I really do think women have taken were in a backseat position mentally when it came to dating. I really do think that. And the reason I know that is because I thought that too. And it wasn't until, you know, I guess information, the age of the internet, and understanding how women can also get, you know, have their cake and eat it too, right? Not always getting the short end of the stick in a relationship with a guy. And the reason I know this is because pop culture has shown us this. If you think about the shows that used to come on MTV, do you guys remember those shows? I mean, it was True Life, I'm in a Love Triangle, or like all of these True Life, my boyfriend is like this and that. Like all these, if you guys are, I'm old enough to have watched True Life on MTV, okay? On top of just the music and everything that came out during that time. And it really, dating was a man's game. It was. And women, and all the music was just like, he broke my heart. And I just don't know what to do. So, yeah. And I feel like women were just dumb back then. Like, we didn't even realize that 80% of the time that you're talking to a guy, there's a very high chance you're just one of the three. And so that's what we've come to come to realize just recently, right? Because a guy is really good at making you feel like, well, some guys are really good at making you feel like you're the only one he's talking to. You're the only one he sees. You're the only girl for me. Right? I mean, he's just seducing her, and it's worked. It worked for so many years. And then women were like, hold on a minute. This is like not fun position to be in, to think that you're the only one he's talking to, and then where you are makes a difference. In England, we say Australian women act like British men. Australian women. In England, we say Australian women act like British men. One must adapt. I'm heartbroken and my soul is shattered. Here's a cheat code. Find a man that loves God more than he'll ever love you. Make sure he's a conservative no matter what color, and be willing to become a conservative minded woman. I think men who follow the Bible are definitely men who are more guided with structure. Yeah. The guy I was having a thing with ghosted me, and we connected and trauma bonded, and I thought he understood me. That's tough. Being ghosted is not fun, and that's why I try my best not to ghost people, like at all. Because if you think something is going somewhere and then they just ghost you out of nowhere, it's like, huh, interesting. And that's why you shouldn't get connected too quickly, because who's to say that that won't happen, right? Both partners have to communicate to stay on the same page. Absolutely. That's so true, Kevin. But that's kind of why I was just talking about how when it comes to dating and the dating stages, we've kind of adopted certain beliefs and mentalities because we thought we were the only one he was seeing, and we were like, oh, I see what's going on around here. So have women started playing like men? Yes. Kind of like how that guy just said in England, they say Australian women are like British men. Which probably kind of out there and doing whatever they want. That's kind of, I think, the mentality that women in the US have adopted. Like, hey, we're just going to play this game like men play. Is it a good idea? No. you know, it seems like that's what's going on. We video chatted and I showed him stuff and let my boss know I'm the one hurting. Yeah, don't do that. Sorry you're hurting, but don't like open up too soon. You definitely can connect with people, but don't share like the deepest, most sacred parts of you too soon. You know what I mean? So, but that's how people get hurt. What do you mean? That's how people get hurt when you don't open up? What do you mean? Hi, Antonio. He said that he doesn't even see me for my disability, so I fell for it. I'm sorry you went through that. You know, we all have to get heartbroken at least once. But this too shall pass. I remember my first heartbreak. Yeah, I agree, Tony. I definitely, here's the thing. I'll share certain things about myself, but I don't think I'll ever fully open up to expose every single weakness. I don't care what anybody says. Like, this might sound like I'm closed off, but the reality is that human beings are very primal by nature, and we kind of like to attack what we see as weak. Maybe not in the beginning, but eventually, right? And so, because I feel like I have a better understanding of human nature and not this kind of fairy tale of what love is, I feel like you have to just guard yourself. You don't have to tell even your partner the secret, most sacred parts of you. Like, that's not necessarily for them, it's really for your own healing and your own journey, right? That stuff doesn't have to be shared. Maybe with your therapist, because they're licensed clinical psychologists to help you heal through that, but sharing it just for, you know, for funsies with your spouse usually doesn't really end well. What's a limiting belief? Armani. If only we all had answers. Humans are complicated and a pain in the bum. Facts. I'm never opening up again. F that. Well, that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like, you learn, you get burned, and then you learn from your mistakes. We're kind of like humans are predatory, you guys. Like, we have this like fantasy of like all the Cinderella stories and, you know, the Prince Charmings, but like, people are very predatory. You have to protect yourself. Last cheat code: no ring, no cookie. This will help prevent you from becoming a notch on his belt. The right man will always wait for a valuable woman. I appreciate that comment, Chris. All I want is closure and revenge now. You may never get that closure. And so that's something you'll have to make peace with. I hope this doesn't sound too harsh, but you probably will not get that closure. The closure you're looking for is you moving on. That's the closure you're looking for. And revenge, I mean, don't take it out on an innocent person. That's called baggage, right? Not even your therapist, just keep that to yourself. Yeah, maybe. We don't all have to get heartbroken once. We don't all have to get heartbroken once. I mean, we do. It may not happen in a way that you think, right? So when I say heartbroken, it doesn't mean someone's gonna just like ghost you and never talk to you again. It could be you having a loving relationship for like 5-10 years, and then something happens in the middle of that relationship, and then maybe you guys continue to keep that relationship. Heartbreak can show up in so many different ways, and of course, it can show up outside of romantic scenarios. But since that's what we're talking about, that itself can also show up in different ways, right? It's not all uniform. Someone could break your heart and then you guys still choose to be together. And he realizes he made a mistake, but that doesn't mean he didn't break your heart, right? Or she didn't break yours. Right, nobody's perfect in this world. You say people are predatory. Are you? And if not, why? That's a complicated question. I definitely think if I can notice any predatory thoughts. But I mean, for the most part, I don't go around looking to be predatory. I feel like I can observe them and ask myself, like, is that who or what I want to be? Thank you. Connected with my inner spirit. But your title alone sounds like you're part of the soul tribe. Thank you for being here and sharing your story. Yeah, so with all this being said, thank you for letting me. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so that's my rant for the day. And thank you all for all your input too. What I love about talking to people and just having this community here is that everyone's got really good life experience to contribute to conversations, right? Life is the best lesson. So that's why I appreciate the comments that I get. They're, in tandem to what we're talking about. So, thank you. I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna go to this place tonight. I'm like, I could just stay home and edit my video, but I've got my speaking club meeting tonight, and I'm like, I could go or I could just stay here doing that. Or edit my video and be productive with other things. So, but I will end it here. I wanted to go live today and not tonight, because usually I've been going live at like 10 p.m. and I'm like, why am I going live so late? What is your class about? So it's a speaking club, and it helps improve public speaking and articulating your ideas better. And I don't have like a role tonight, because usually there's like roles, you know. There's usually like roles you can have to facilitate the meeting, but I don't have a role tonight. And if I go, I would just be going to possibly be called to participate like in this section of the meeting, and then to go hang out at this tap house that sponsors our club. And I'm like, I could go do that and not have a role and just sit through the whole meeting for nothing, or just to listen, or I could stay here and edit my video. I've got some comments here. Do you find it attractive when your man is all jealous of other guys? No, not jealous of all other guys. That's not attractive. I just like to know that if, like your example, you said you let other guys hit on your girlfriend in front of you. I was just commenting on how personally that would not really sit well with me. Because then I'm questioning why you're allowing it, right? Go to your club, don't be antisocial. Hi, Andre, how are you? Thanks, Tony. Just hanging out makes you smarter. Depends on what you're hanging out about. Maybe I will go. Why don't you stay home and talk to us and then edit your video? That's an option too. I feel like I need a nap. It was probably those darn noodles. Made me sleepy. I need to take my vitamins actually. Oh, you know what? Let me show you the vitamins I take on a daily basis. You guys hold your pretty little horses. You go. You stay right there. Wait, where are my vitamins actually? You're really lovely underneath it all. Where are my vitamins? Okay, now I'm actually trying to figure out where they are. Oh, wait. No, that's not it. Those aren't it. Go touch grass, get some fresh air. Who's to say I haven't touched grass today? Actually, I haven't been outside today, but I was still very productive. Hold on. I'm trying to find my vitamins, y'all. Oh, maybe they're in here. Yes, found them. If you heard me say I found my vitamins after you heard me close the closet door, mind your business. Okay. So maybe I left it too broad. We make our presence felt together, but attractive women always have men wanting to talk to them. I just don't block it until the lady lets me know it's time. You feel me? I can see that too. And honestly, I don't want you, Dakota, to be like, feel like, and maybe you don't feel this way, but don't. I'm only going based off of like, yeah, what you originally said. But if there's definitely like a method to your madness, and I can understand that. Yes, most guys, if they're in a relationship with a pretty woman, then they kind of know like, okay, yeah, this just kind of comes with the territory. And if you're confident in your relationship, you're just gonna let it happen until she says, hey, I'm not comfortable. But at the same time, even with that logic, I think that's good logic because it means you're not like quick to like be ready to fight a guy. But even then, there should be a level of what's not okay for you, right? Like now he's crossing a boundary for you. And I think that's something that you should consider, is the boundary that he's crossing in your relationship. She should say something too, but I like to know that my man has a boundary that he does not want crossed for himself from another man. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Naptosa says, even talking to ingrates in person will give you life. Ay, Dios mío. I hope that should you make it big, you stay humble. People remain grounded when their ideas are challenged. That's true. Yeah. I mean, my goal is to definitely stay humble. I don't have any goals to be like, I'm so much better than you. So when you talk about people remaining grounded when their ideas are challenged, I think you're right, because just the other day I commented on a girl's channel and I just kind of wanted to point something out to her, and then she got really, really mad in the comment section, and I just thought, whoa, like I was just giving her honest feedback in a funny, joking way, but I told her that I enjoyed the video, but she got really, really upset. So I appreciate when people challenge my ideas, because I need to know that my ideas are challengeable. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I definitely know that I've got good thought processes, and other people do too. So those are the people that I want challenging my ideas. All right, so it's time for somebody to speak up. Yes, I agree. I originally said unless it's getting disrespectful. Maybe you did say that. Okay, well, I missed that part. So boom, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Dakota, the man. He's got it all. No, but if that's the case, Dakota, like, I definitely can respect the way you're going about it. Imagine to that guy's surprise. Oh, you said you make your guys' presence known together. I see. Okay. And that's how it should be, man to man. I'm so much better than you. That was your closet door. You called yourself out on the internet. Here's your cookie. Okay. Armani, you be sneak dissing sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, what are you talking about? All right, let me show you guys the vitamins I take. Okay. Let me see if I can remember what these are. So this is a vitamin C, but it's a different type of vitamin C. It's called Ester C. It's a vitamin C formula that stays in your body for 24 hours, longer than a regular vitamin C. And it's 1,000 milligrams. This is what's gonna help give me energy. And I try to take these at least 3 times a day, but I've been slipping, okay? Vitamin C. Okay, number 1. After vitamin C, which helps with energy and immunity, I take a D3, which is kind of like being out in the sun, but not really. And people who have more melanin, such as myself, usually need to take more D3. Because, and this is the part that's confusing to me, melanin usually blocks the sun, but I know it also absorbs the sun. So, I don't know. But either way, this is also good for immunity and like sun exposure if you're not out in the sun. So take D3s, especially if you have more melanin like me. Okay? D3, immunity and sun. Okay, the next one is a B100. This is super important for your nervous system. This is like if you get aggravated easily or you just feel irritated by certain sounds and something just sounds so annoyingly loud, like oh my god, like someone talking a certain way, there's a chance that your nervous system is frayed, because if you look at under a microscope, our nervous system is like guitar strings, and when they're not nourished, they get frayed, which means you have a short tension, your short nervous system span, short circuit. You're like, oh my god, shut up, no, oh my god. B100s help with your nervous system. Okay, B100s. Ugh. Okay, and last but not least, this is ginkgo biloba. So ginkgo biloba is for brain support. Our brains are taking in so much information. We're working hard at work. If you use your brain at work, reading a lot, scrolling a lot, this helps with brain's function and memory and just overall brain support, just nourishment to the brain. Super important. Okay, it's called ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba. Something about taking all of them is kind of tough, and definitely only eat them on a full stomach. Okay, I'm sure you guys know that, but just have you. Glad you take care of yourself. Think so, okay. Have you ever dated someone who challenges you? How do you feel about it? Actually, I feel like I don't get challenged enough. So I would like someone. Okay, hold on a minute. So there's this guy that I was talking to, and I feel like he challenged everything I said. And it was almost like, even when I know I was right, because you know how you just know when you're right about things, it was to the point where he just needed to be right. Like it was like he knew I was right and he didn't like it, so he just wanted to challenge it just because. That type of challenging is not gonna work for me. But if you like have a legitimate argument, or like not an argument, but like are trying to make me see things in a different light, and you're like, maybe you should consider looking at it this way, and then I'll go, huh, right? Or you know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference. Because I really do like smart people and smart men, especially if they can teach me something. So I feel good about it when it's coming from a genuine place. Like he knows he's smart, so he doesn't have to challenge me. He's not challenging me just for the sake of challenging me. He's challenging me because he literally thinks there's a flaw in my thought process, which I really do appreciate it. It might be humbling, but I really do appreciate it, especially when they can articulate their idea and they're like, I hear what you're saying, I understand what you're feeling, but you need to consider it this way because this is going to allow you to like be more powerful in this situation, or you're selling yourself short by looking at it that way. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel difference with your vitamin regimen? Andre, I do. When I'm consistent, I do feel difference. I feel more energized. I sleep better. Yeah, I really do. Zinc, yes. Oh, you got, yeah, McDonald's got all the omega fish oil, magnesium, vitamin D, K2, omega fish. Yep, those are all really good vitamins to have. Zinc is also really good for immunity. During like flu season and stuff, you have to have your vitamin C, your zinc, and your D3s. Omega fish oil is also really good for your brain. Yeah, and those fatty acids. So anyway. Hi, Lucky. You heard the Hebrews. Yes, I have heard of them, Leroy. How are you guys feeling with this time difference? It tends to work better when I let you bump your head first. Let her ask for my help. Well, here's the thing, Andre. If you're dealing with a woman that is very confident in her opinions and her feelings, like, she should probably ask for help. But if she's not the type of person who felt like she had that opportunity to do that growing up, she probably won't, right? So I think it's really about how you approach, right? And I think if someone can't even receive you coming from a very thoughtful place, then you're just dealing with a really, really, really sensitive person. I think, and they've just never had their ideas challenged before. I remember the first time when I was in school, I got my idea challenged, and I realized I had an ego check. Like, I was in school, and I was like, I think like 7th or 8th grade, and I remember just always kind of like being the person that got all the arguments right. We were having like this kind of like debate on a topic, and then someone else who never really talks decided that finally they would say something, and they actually won that day, and I was just like, oh my god. But that was like the first time that I got my ego checked, and I was like, or that's the first time that I like got not beat, but just like someone else's idea was more powerful than mine. And then I realized that's life, you know? Good point. Yeah. Like, Andre, I really, really feel like bye, Mick. Thanks for tuning in. Armani, I saw your question. Maybe I'll answer it in just a bit. It's just time for. Oh, okay. Good night, Mick. Thanks for tuning in. Do you prefer guys who are blatant in conversation, or is that a turnoff? Honestly, blatant is kind of a turnoff. But I really do value when someone can like, and this makes me wonder. This makes me realize how I approach something is really important. Right? Because if I'm turned off by how a guy approaches me, then I need to be not approach as in like he's hitting on me, but if he's trying to have a conversation with me about something, his approach, if I'm big on his approach, then that means I need to probably be more mindful of my approach. Right? Because something that turns me off could be something that I'm probably doing. That's a word. Whatever you're turned off by, oftentimes it's because you do it. So I need to be more mindful of my approach, which is why blatant guys, it doesn't work. Like, one guy from my speaking club, he calls himself like trying to talk to me, and I know I've been saying this like the whole video. I hope I don't sound like a broken record, but not to sound arrogant, but whenever I do join these spaces, there are guys who oftentimes express interest. And it is what it is, and you know, that's just what it is. But this one guy, I just realized just how blunt he was. And I was like, geez Louise, like, is that just how you talk all the time? And it just made me feel kind of like uneasy. And I thought, you know, maybe I can't do as blunt as I thought. So we dislike people who are most like us. Yes. Thank you, Lucky. Armani, what made you ask that question? Like, what? I actually use the paper bag test in my head for a reference. I'm gonna go ahead and suggest you let that test go, just for sanity's sake. It's a very outdated and harmful test, as I'm sure you are aware. That was used to keep people down, you know? Thanks, Kay Hackett. One question I like to see where you're. One question I like to see where her head at. What's the question, Leroy? Some is. I was trying to be blunt. Oh. Yeah. Any minute these vitamins will kick in. Anyway, I like to dance, by the way. How long of a walk on the beach would we take? Best time of day. Dakota, what are you talking about? I don't even understand that first part of the question. How long of a walk on the beach would we take? And then best time of day. I'm not understanding those two questions together. Try that again, sir. Hey, I do have a question. What's your favorite part about streaming? My favorite part about streaming is the community. Like I recognize everyone in this room. So the real community that gets built is what I like most about it. And talking about things that we all can relate to. And figuring it out together. I also love giving advice and perspective. That's what my channel is about. So, that part. Those parts. Do nice guys finish last in your world? Define a nice guy, Andre. Define a nice guy. How can I make you love me and remember me? I don't know about love, but I can remember you I do remember you being in the live last night, Moha, so I do remember you. Thank you for tuning back in. I'm trying to find out how long you like to walk on the beach and what time of day you prefer. Oh. How long I like to walk on the beach? It depends. You know what? Next time, I think I'll go live from the beach. But as far as how long I will walk, just depends, you know? And honestly, the reason why I prefer the morning is probably just because of the time of the year it is for me. It's getting warm already where I live, and because that's the case, everyone and their mom is at the beach. So I prefer to get there early and leave early. So yeah. And plus a walk on the beach is like 30 minutes to an hour. I usually go jogging on the beach first, good exercise, so. Typical yes man, pushover. I mean, a yes man, a pushover, that's not something I would be interested in. Because it's not just about me, right? It's about if he's a pushover and a yes man, that means that spills over in other areas of his life. Which means he's probably overcompensating, overly stressed out, saying yes to his boss at work all the time, probably doesn't make time for his family. Like, there's so many other things connected to being a yes or a people pleaser or a pushover. And yes, one of them is it's spilling into your romantic relationship, but then while I'm in this relationship with a yes man or a pushover, that kind of lack of boundary is going to be spilling over into his other areas of life, which is going to spill over into my life because we're together, right? So that's why it's not a good look for me personally. Like, you have to have boundaries in this world. When I eventually do live, I will appreciate how much easier it will be to communicate. Communication via text kind of sucks without vocal tonality. So many of my ideas get drowned out. That's facts. That is facts, Armani. What do you see when at the beach? I see the ocean, I see sand, I see birds trying to take my food, I see all types of stuff. That's why I asked how long we would go on walk on the beach. I'm asking for a date scenario. Dakota, you just said the same thing as Armani, right? Like, your thoughts get drowned out. What I was saying earlier was that this time change, because of, is it daylight savings, I think? It is messing me up. Like, it's already 5:30, but it looks like it's only 2 p.m., 3 p.m. And I'm looking out the window like I already have to be at my meeting in an hour. Like, usually it's dark by now. So the time change and how it stays brighter later, I don't know, kind of weird. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves keep freaking me out. Can't make you happy or not. You guys know that song? Usually I'm I just wanna be comfortable. It's called Heat Waves, but I forgot what the artist's name is. How long do you take for eating dinner? Well, how your questions, I don't know if I have an answer to them. Just depends on the day. Do you prefer attention or your space? Both. Can't have one without the other. If you were on a date, what is the optimal walk length and day period? If I were on a date, well, the question needs to, here's the question, Dakota. Is that what the date consists of? A walk on the beach? Right? Because personally, I've never been on a walk on the beach date and that's just all we did, right? It's usually like, for example, because I live in the city that I live in, there's a lot of restaurants on the beach. So we'll have a dinner or lunch, and then he'll say, hey, do you want to go for a walk? Then it's like, okay, right? But if I've already spent 2.5 hours at the dinner table with him or the lunch table with him, and he says, let's go for a walk, I might do 30 minutes to an hour, especially if we're having a really good time, right? But if that is the date, then that's a little different. Personally, I would give it like 30 minutes to an hour, if that. It depends on the vibe. What depends on the vibe? You're gonna have to remind me like what you're responding to, because I'm saying so many things and responding to so many people. When people comment, I don't know what you're responding to. That's another part that's difficult. I can walk for hours on the beach talking with a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman. Yes. But will she want to walk on the beach for hours? My pleasure. Yeah. Are you big on rice? That was for somebody else. Ian Beefcake. People just come in here and say anything. Well, she's got my attention. Will it feel like hours? It probably won't feel like hours to you, but it could feel like hours to her, is my point. So my thing is this. If I was already out there on the beach and some guy goes, hey, want to go for a walk? And I'll probably be like, we can sit here and chat for a minute if I'm sitting down on my blanket, right? And then we can chat for a little bit, but then I'll probably shoo him away after a while because I just really value my time. And I know this is going to get a little controversial to the guys. You guys are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I don't allow people in my space for a really long time, soaking up my energy for free. Not because I'm not a nice person, but because afterward there's a drained feeling that I feel unless it's being poured back into me. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the whole concept of the divine feminine. LK asks, when did you know you were a goddess? When I understood this concept. So, I am a very giving person. I'm very considerate. I love to make people feel good. I give good advice. I want to help them. At the same time, I am also very understanding of how healing the feminine energy is. But at the same time, I know how drained I feel sometimes after being with someone for so long and there's nothing that's being poured back into me. Especially if they're just kind of just benefiting from my energy and my positivity. It can be an energy drain if it's not either reciprocated and or sometimes when it's not physically reciprocated, as in, let me get you something to drink, let me get you something to eat, right? There's, to me, that's like a part of it. It's not all of it, but it is a part of it. So personally, I'm not going to walk on the beach for hours with someone that I know is healed by my energy. Unless I know that by the end of that, my energy will not be drained. Does that make sense? Do you sometimes feel like there's a better use of your energy than dealing with weirdos on YouTube? Well, there is weirdos on YouTube, but there's also other people on YouTube who are not weirdos. I think the people in this room right now are the people that I would prefer to spend time talking with instead of the people who come in and drop really strange and inappropriate comments. If that answers your question. How rare is it that it's reciprocated? Interesting. How rare is it that it's reciprocated? Are you asking me how often does he reciprocate the energy back to me? Or clarify that question. And then I'm gonna probably head off. I wasn't referring to a first date. Maybe you thought I was, because I feel like, yeah, I wouldn't spend hours with someone I hadn't vibed with prior. Yes, correct, Michael. Oh, then that makes sense, Dakota. I forgot what I asked Armani. The reason, okay, if you're asking me how often how rare is it that it's reciprocated? It's not rare at all. Yeah, it's not rare at all. Because I've learned to understand the value of my energy. So when I know I'm not going to be compensated for, and this is not coming from a shallow place, this is just legitimately understanding, like, not being drained. I was scared for a second when you started talking about needing paid for your time. I was like, whoa, boo. Okay. But even if I was, like, then what? That's not necessarily what I meant, right? I mean, here's the thing. when you find value in something or someone, you do compensate that person. It doesn't always mean monetarily, but it does mean you compensate them in various ways. It could be you doing an act of service, right? Like, oh, her tire popped. Maybe I'm gonna, she's calling me for help. I want to help her. Or she's out here. I want to offer to take her to lunch. Or, hey, maybe. There's so many different ways, right? And vice versa. Vice versa, sure. I think people really don't understand the feminine energy at all. Like, they don't understand what they're getting from it, how valuable it is, and because they don't understand it, there is. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that today. If I make another video, it's gonna go in. I will make another video of understanding the power of the feminine energy, because the world needs to better understand. I think men in particular, and women in particular, need to know what it is that we offer. Like, how powerful and healing our energy is. But I am going to end it there, because I've always had phenomenal times with women and never felt like I've drained them. That's because you're in a presence of a beautiful woman with good energy. So you feel rejuvenated. That is the power of the feminine energy. It literally wakens you. It lifts you up. That's what it does. But oftentimes, and women don't often express this, but as the feminine energy, especially when she's tapped into her feminine energy, there is a feeling of drainage that can be felt, especially if nothing is being poured back into her. Does that make sense? So yeah, I'm going to make a video on this so people can better understand it. And you guys, the fellas, you're obviously welcome to watch. That's a huge part of my audience demographic, and you guys are great. But yeah, there needs to be a better understanding on this topic. So I'm like, should I go to this meeting? I'll go. How do you pour back into the feminine? Ooh, Chica asking the good questions. You just made me want to make, that's my next video. Not my next live, my next actual, no, that's not true. I've got 2 videos coming out. That'll be my 3rd video, third in consecutive order. Does that make sense? I will talk about what the feminine energy is and how do you pour back into it. What it does, all the things. Because if there was no feminine energy on earth, none of us would want to be here at all. At all. There would be no desire. 0 desire. Okay, all right, we'll talk later on that. That's a whole nother topic, and it's very, very deep. And only those of the soul tribe will understand it. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in today. If you're subscribed already, thank you. If you're not, consider joining. Check out my content and see if it is something you want to, look into. All right, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you later. Bye.